Alright guys, it's time for a new lineup of seasonal anime, and you know what that means. New season, new waifus. First, I watched Uramichi-Oniisan. Uramichi-Oniisan is basically about Steve from Blue's Clues having an existential crisis, which Steve from Blue's Clues actually did have in real life. The animation is just fine, and the punchlines come too quick, but I can tell that the source material is probably hilarious. Next, I watched The Detective Is Already Dead. The first episode consisted of 30 seconds of great animation, and over 40 minutes of the writer trying to be Nisio-Isin, minus the witty dialogue. The only thing the show has going for it so far is the premise, which if you read the title, you already know. My favorite part was how they made the main character a middle schooler, just so that the time skip wouldn't require him to be in college. Despite this, they gave him the physique of an adult, with the exception of one part of his body. The genre of the first episode changed every few minutes. It went from a sci-fi to a slice of life to a rom-com, all over the course of 46 minutes. To sum it up, if you want an excuse to practice your first-year Spanish for 10 seconds every week, this is the show for you. Next, I watched a show about a boy with the Midas Touch minus the gold, which is fine, because from the looks of it, he's already pretty rich. He's probably the most relatable protagonist for me this season, because everything he touches dies, but in his case, it's not just metaphorically. Combine this premise with a touchy-feely ara-ara onei-chan, and you got a show where the protagonist recoiling from females touching him actually makes sense for once. Now I have to give credit where it's due. This is the first show that I've watched that made me consider going to dental school. I'm just glad I didn't have to add another dead waifu to the waifu pile this season. Next, I watched a show where the title is somebody with a stutter trying to say girlfriend. My real question is, if the show's title is Girlfriend because he has two girlfriends, if he gets a third one, will the title then become Girlfriend? Now, is this show going to use its premise to give interesting commentary on polyamory relationships, or just use it as an excuse to give the main character a harem? I'm no psychic, but I can guess. Next, I watched Kagakishojo, which feels like a more down-to-earth version of Revue Starlight with the same amount of Yuri undertones. Overall, I liked the first episode, and recommend the show to anyone who is interested at all in theater. Or the Japanese Self-Defense Forces. And then I watched Yaoi Twilight. Now, my favorite show so far from this season has got to be Sunny Boy. What do you get when you combine Lord of the Flies and anime? There are a lot of comparisons people are drawing between this show and other works. Not just Lord of the Flies, but also Battle Royale and The Drifting Classroom. You wouldn't be blamed for thinking Satoshi Kon worked on this, but he's deader than this wannabe detective. Kon might be dead, but Eguchi Hisashi, the character designer who worked on Perfect Blue, isn't, and he's already blessing the show with his trademark eyes. Lastly, I recommend Shiroi Suna no Aquatope for people who like looking at pretty things. Now, there are some shows from this season that I didn't cover here. Namely, I didn't cover any sequels, and I refused to watch any isekai. That said, I hope that this video served as a source of information helping you choose what shows to watch this season. It's been a pleasure, and until next time.